Hello, welcome back. It's Thursday, so once again I have another video for you. In this one we have some builder's tanks to empty. We've done them previously. We have an office block descale to do, and we have some blocked urinals in a warehouse. So if you like this video, please leave a like. If you could leave a comment, that'd be brilliant. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helped me out. Thank you.
If you like this video, give a thumbs up and make sure to hit subscribe at the end.
Right, we've had a truck off the road today. It had a brake issue, so it's gone into the garage. So I'm picking up the work from the driver who was driving that truck. So we're going to go out in the gully sucker or combi or whatever you want to call it. And we're going to go empty the two builders tanks. We've done these before, but I thought, why not film them again? I've just got to the site, so first thing I got to do is take the cap off the back of the truck. On this truck, the right hand valve is the inlet, the left hand valve is the outlet. Then you've got to screw on this little adapter, which is literally just on a screw thread. So you tighten that on there and then you can clip your pipes up. Right, so the access is down between these two cabins. You can see the inlet here, that is from the toilets going into the tank that's under the cabin. Underneath this little plate here is the access for us to get in to empty it. As you can see, it's full right up to the brim, and to be honest with you, I think it was probably overflowing or very close to overflowing. So we're going to put the end pipe in, connect all the pipes together, and we'll get sucking. The only problem with these kind of tanks is once you get the pipe in there, you can't really see a lot of what's going on. So you just got to keep pulling the pipe out every now and again and checking the levels. So as it is at the moment, I can tell it's quite full because there's a lot of stuff still going up the hose. That's a nice easy job to start the video off. I'm going to put the cap back on and put all the pipes back on the truck, and we can get on to the next one. I'm just going to let the vacuum build up in the truck, and then I'll open the valve again and suck those pipes through. Right, time to get off of this site. And here we are at the next site where we've got a very similar situation. We have a porta cabin and underneath it is a tank we need to empty. The nice thing with this tank is I can park the truck a bit closer and it's got this bigger access opening to empty the tank through, so I can see a bit more what's going on. The truck I'm driving will carry about 1,000 gallons, UK gallons, of sewage, or it carry 4,500 litres if you want to do it in litres. So, yeah, these tanks are both about 500 gallons, so they should both fit on there quite nicely. Just. So with the truck completely full up, it's time to head off to go tip the lorry. So the next job we're going to be going to is an office block descale in the jetting van. We've been there before, but we're going back again. It's a regular service that we do, and the scale builds up quite badly at that site. Here we are back in the jetting van, and we are back in Bristol. For this one, I've roped in one of our other drivers. Now, the reason for that is just simply this cover. It's a block infill cover. It's quite a thick cover and it's got to come up dead square. Now, it's really hard to get this cover up on your own because it's a really tight frame. This cover does have built-in handles on it, but to be honest, that makes it harder to get the cover up. If it had proper keyholes, you'd be able to lift it on your own more than likely. Because it's not particularly heavy. This line, we jet it through every 6 months. You can see the lime scale starting to build up already in the bottom. So we're going to stick tiger's tail in and we're going to use the 6-back bomb jet and we're going to send that up through the line and break up all that scale. I'm just going to put a set of gully grabs in the outfalls of this manhole just to catch any big lumps that might come down. Hopefully this jet will break them all up though. I'm going to slowly feed the hose through and let the jetter do what it does best. My jetter is clearly doing a good job of breaking up all that stuff. You can see there's little bits coming down, but no massive big chunks. Now, the trick with this is always let the jetter go through nice and slowly. If you go through too quickly, you rip off big chunks, they all come back towards you, and it doesn't break it up nicely. When you break it up like this, it tends to flow through a lot nicer back to the manhole. Now, I'm jetting this in the morning, and you can tell the cleaners have not long been in because of the bubbles that are in this drain coming back from the jetter. It's clearly everything they've been cleaning the toilets with and stuff, and mop buckets. And the soap has made it nice and bubbly. I've made it all the way up to the other end of this drain, so I'm now pulling the jet back slowly towards the manhole. Sorry, the tiger's tail does make it a bit hard to see what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm going to pull it back nice and slowly, just as slowly as I've let the jet go up through the drain. I've now turned the pressure up just a little bit, just to keep that stuff moving back towards us. That was the low water cut off turning my jetter off, so I've just flipped the switch across and I'm just going to run it a little bit longer because there is a little bit of water left in the tank and I'm very close to the manhole now, so I think it'll run long enough. I'm just going to pull the gully grabs out. There was no major big chunks that are worth catching in that. It's quite fine stuff, so that should wash on down the drain. I'm going to use the pry bar to chip off the worst of this. Then we're going to jet the upstream, and then we'll put the Warthog through the downstream through to the next chamber, and we should be all good. So when you jet, it pours a vacuum on the pipe, so it's always best just to go inside and run a bit of water. So I'm going to go around and flush all the toilets, run the showers and run the sinks. That just top all the traps back up and stop it creating smells inside. These taps have sensors and they clearly don't work. In the gents' toilets they also have this cleaner sink, so I'm going to run a little bit of water down here as well. I'm then going to go into the ladies' toilet and do exactly the same thing. You may be able to notice in that pan there's not a lot of water in the bottom. Again, that's because the vacuum from the jetter has dragged the water back out of the pan. We're now going to jet the upstream. Again, we're going to use the bomb jet. This heads off towards their canteen sink that is on a pump system. Again, I'm going to let the jet go up nice and slowly and do what it does best. The jetter is clearly clearing something out of the pipe because the water has changed quite a dirty colour. I wasn't really expecting too much from this line. I'm now pulling the jetter back towards me and you can see the water's coming back quite clear. I wasn't expecting it to be that bad, but it's always worth jetting it whilst we're here. We're now going to be jetting the downstream line out towards the main drain. I'm going to use the Warthog because it has a nice powerful forward facer on it. So that should be able to blast anything through that's gone down there and hopefully give that line a nice clean through. For this line, we're just going to go for about 2000 psi. Again, as always, I'm letting the jetter go through nice and slowly and letting that forward facer and the spinner on the end of the Warthog do what it does best. Now, ideally I would have lifted up the next manhole, jetted from there and you'd see everything coming through, but someone's put a bike rack on top of the manhole. But as I pulled the jet back, I pulled this nice big chunk out, which I'm going to grab out at the manhole here, rather than let that go down the line, for obvious reasons. We're now just going to give this manhole and frame and everything a bit of a swirl around. What I like to do after I've done a job like this is just pump the rest of the water down the drain. That'll just flush through anything else that's down there. I've got to get the water off the van anyway because it puts the van overweight, so I might as well make use of it. I thought I'd do a bit more scraping of this chamber as well. That's another job ticked off the list. So our next one is going to be urinals at a warehouse. We've got to do a bit of jetting on this one. But whilst we're driving to the next job, now's probably the time to say it. Now, I don't want to go on and on about it, so I try not to mention it too much. But you can actually become a member of this channel. There should be a join button on my main page. If you can't see that for whatever reason, I've left the link in the description below all my videos. If you become a member, you do get to see 3 upcoming videos early. And on top of that, I've thrown in a couple of other videos. Nothing drainage related because I don't want to take it away from the main channel. But just little bits that's going on, maybe some behind the scenes things, maybe some bits I'm doing in my garden. Just little bits I think you might find interesting. But like I said, I don't want to keep going on about it. I know it probably annoys people, so yeah, I try not to say it every video. But if you are a member, thanks for becoming a member. If you're not, don't worry. appreciate you subscribing to my channel anyway and watching my videos and joining in my comments and stuff, so thank you for that. I'm going to do a bit of jetting at this site, so the first thing we're going to do is connect the jetter onto the tap. About 15 minutes later, we got quite good water pressure at this site, and the tank was full, so I'm now going to disconnect it, and we'll go see what's going on. When I first got to this site, I went in and looked at the urinals. I didn't take the camera in, obviously. But I looked out the window, out from the gents' toilets, and I could see a manhole in the yard next door. So we've gone around and spoke to the neighbours nicely, and they've okayed it for me to lift this manhole. So I'm going to try and jet up from here to start with, and see if we can clear them this way. Basically, they've got two little floor drains, like little gullies, and the one that takes the urinals, when the urinals flush, it floods the floor. So I feel like jetting this is a good place to start. But first, we've got a bit of a fight to have with the cover. If only we had a sledgehammer to help us in this situation. The inside of this manhole clearly hasn't seen the light of day for a few years. It's moving, so that's a good sign, but it's not quite free enough yet to lift. Looking down the manhole, you can see the limescale build up in the bottom, so it's quite clear that upstream from here is going to connect to the urinals, because that's generally the place that the limescale comes from. I'm going to use the tiger's tail to protect my new jet and hose from any sharp edges on the lip of this pipe, and I'm going to use the forward facer that I've just dropped through the tiger's tail into the bottom of the channel. Hopefully this will cut through the blockage and we'll be able to clear it. You might be thinking, we haven't seen the drain blocked inside. Don't worry, you will see it in a minute. You can see the water coming back is quite dirty already, so the jet's clearly breaking something off. But I think I'm pretty much at the urinal, even at this point, because it's only got to turn left, round a 90 bend, and the gully is just the other side of the wall. So the jet doesn't actually have too far to go. So potentially I may have to go inside and try and clear it from there. But I'll try and clear the worst of it out of this drain first, to give us half a chance of clearing it from inside nice and easy. Because of the joiner on the leader hose, I know I'm exactly 3 meters in, because that end hose on my jetter is exactly 3 meters. So it's nice and easy to know where you are at this point. Now, what I think is happening is in the U-bend of the gully, I think that's where our blockage is, and the jet's just struggling to get round the bend to get in there to clear it out. It's probably the forward facer is going in, and where the pipe then drops to do the 90, the jet isn't following it round nice enough to go round the 90, if that makes sense. I want to get that forward facer right on where the blockage is. But I don't think we're going to do it from this angle, so it's looking like we're definitely going to have to go inside. But the water's coming back a lot clearer now, so I'm pretty confident we're clear to this point. We're now inside, and this is the gully that we're having the issue with. I've already took the cover off, and I'm going to try and use the hand machine with the small cable, and we're just going to see if we can get that cable round the U-bend. Hopefully I can punch a hole through it that way, and then we'll have another go jetting it. As you can see, the level's dropping already, so that's a good sign something's happening. I think I've managed to punch a hole through this blockage because the water level has now dropped right down to the level it should be at. So I'm now going to spin this cable back slowly and let the cutter cut through all that horrible uric acid. I brought a drain rod in as well, so I'm just going to give this gully a bit of a scrape round with the rod to get any loose scale off, and then we'll try flushing some water through and see what happens. I think this drain's still partly blocked because as I poured the water in, the gully's still sitting at quite a high level. I think where I've broken all the scale off of the machine, I think it's still sat there. So I'm going to try and get the 4-inch plunger in there and we'll give it a little plunge. And hopefully that's going to be enough to clear out this U-bend. That's now sitting at a lot better level, so after a couple more jugs of water, I'm going to head back outside and we'll do a little bit more jetting. And straight away it looks like we're getting something out of this line. That's more than likely the stuff I've just broken up with the machine. I think when we put this cover back down it's not going to sit properly, so whilst I got the cover up I'm going to use the jetting hose just like a hose pipe to give this chamber a bit of a wash around, but also wash around the frame. I wanted to try and use the pry bar to break off some of this urinal scale, but it's been in there a long time and yeah, it was like concrete in there. I couldn't get it to budge no matter how hard I tried with it. But I don't think it's going to cause too many issues as it's only watery stuff coming down this line. There's a sink connected in on a branch and the urinal, so it shouldn't cause an issue. Once again, thanks for joining me for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. If you could leave a comment, that'd be brilliant. I try and reply back to everyone, but it is getting harder to reply back to people because so many people are commenting now. But the more comments, the better. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It'd really help me out. Thank you.
Please like and subscribe and leave a comment.